Hi guys, Alex Fortey here, The Art of Simple Golf. We are going to make the short game simple. How do we do that? We really I don't want to be offensive, but we dumb it down. We make it easier, less stressful. There's not that much to do. It's a short movement. Yes, there's a skill. Yes, there's an art to it. But let's learn a foundation. One, we're going to cover a bit of technique and a drill that you can do right now at home if you need be, to enhance the feel and consistency that you want, to give you that foundation. Then we're going to sort of cover the guide, which is using the left arm to gauge distances, at least as far as technique is concerned. And then we might hop into a bunker and just give you one of my favorite little tweaks to give you the confidence to splash out of the bunkers more consistently and really just make the entire short game more simple. So let's get to it. Alrighty, so let's get into the drill, okay? This is something you can do at home, with or without a club actually. And what we're looking at is feeling that we want a consistent sort of angle of attack on the chip shots. The problem that too many people have and they stress about is either thinning, because they're trying to sort of help it up, or they're duffing it. Now there's so many videos out on YouTube that are going to cover this, but again, I'm just trying to make this really freaking simple. And a way that you can feel that right now is using this drill. Okay, if you don't know the foundation, the fundamentals for a chip shot, we want our sternum over the golf ball. That's a very essential kind of checkpoint. We want that sternum over the golf ball. We want more weight on the left side. Why? Because we want to ensure that we're getting the golf ball first, as opposed to sort of hitting it behind or whatever it might be. And as far as grip is concerned, you want a firm grip, but you want suppleness in the forearms, you want suppleness in the wrist, so you can feel the weight of that club, just as if you were throwing it. And that's what this drill is sort of enhancing. So we've got the right arm just to feel like you're tossing it, because you wouldn't really screw that up. If I said to you just to throw this ball over there to the hole, you would just do something like that, okay? And you would do it pretty consistently. So we want to try and replicate that. And a lot of it is, you may have heard about like the bounce of the club. I've got my 54 here, just check in, yeah, I've got my 54, and the bounce of the club is basically, it's that. Again, I'm not going to bore you because there's so many videos and articles on this stuff, but the bounce of the club is what we want to utilize to give us that nice strike and consistency. And we can do that by controlling that arc with our right arm, and that sort of consistency with the right arm, because we don't want this variable too much, okay? So the drill, dead simple, to emphasize that right arm feel, just take the right hand only. Obviously if you're left-handed, it's going to be your left hand only, so it's your trail arm, obviously, right? So feel like you've got a nice firmer arm, but you're feeling the weight of the club. And just as you practice drill here, we're just going to bottom out. But you see, we can't just stop. It's not just about using the hands. You think about chipping and pitching, it's not just that, okay? That can work, but we don't want that, because that's going to give us an inconsistent strike. We want a shallow strike that's just brushing the grass, almost not at all really. And be consistent with that, with your right arm, is going to be your guide to be able to control that path, okay? Now I duffed that a little bit, full transparency. That's the first time I've actually tried it, but I was a little bit long and then sort of short. So it's better to just, I was actually trying to go for too long a shot, but we're just going short, and there we go. Keeping that consistency with the right arm, that's the guide. That's how you're going to get consistent shots. So practice that at home. Just keep it simple, okay? Right hand only. That's going to give you the strike and the confidence that you want. Now, you can try that with different clubs, different shots, whatever it might be. The more you can do that, when you just simply come onto hitting a regular shot, feel the same with the right arm. And you're going to be clipping the turf exactly the same. Okay, well, hopefully, anyway. If you don't, keep practicing. The next element is, to keep this really simple, to make the short game more simple, is what's your guide for the lengths of shot? The left arm is really your guide. How much you're going to rotate that is the distance controller. Yes, we want the right arm kind of being stable, but the distance controller is this. How much this moves, whether it's to here, is going to obviously be a shorter shot to there. Okay? Now, the only distance control I'm thinking about, if I want to land it on the fringe of the green there, is just where do I want that left shoulder to rotate and pull through. Okay, that's just on the fringe. Perfect. That's the guide. Now, the idea is, what kind of shot do I want to hit if I've got my pitching wedge? I want to go to the far end of this little practice green. I want to feel that left arm rotate all the way through, and that's my distance guide. So I want it to finish about there. And just with choosing the club, it's going to bump and run. And it's going to finish. I mean, I have to say that worked out. That actually ended up on the fringe. I have to brag a little bit, but I'm quite impressed with that. I hope you can see it. But anyway, that's the idea. The left arm is your guide and controller. When we're not just stopping here, everything's sort of working together. But you do that feel there. So even though we're holding two clubs, two arms at the same time, the right arm is sort of staying stable. The left arm is pulling through, and that guide, that distance guide, that distance control, that's going to give you the sort of consistency that you want, and it's making it simple, right? That's the idea. The other thing I want to talk about is, let's take a couple of different shots here. Let's say, wait, let me move that over there for the crack of it. Let's say we've got this, all right? We're going to aim for the furthest cup. A lot of you, just out of habit, would choose your most lofted sort of club, which is going to go, like, float it all the way. That's what you want to try and do. But why? We've got all that green to work with, okay? So why would we take the most lofted club when there's absolutely no obstacle in the way? We're not trying to float over a bunker. We're not trying to do anything. There's just flatness to work with. So I mean, even here you could use an 8-iron. I mean, Arnold Palmer even used to talk about this, and he told Jack Nicklaus, it was one of his first tips he gave him apparently. But there's no point taking a lob wedge and trying to sort of get that height and trying to spin it when there's nothing in the way. So why not just take a pitching wedge, a 9-iron, an 8-iron, whatever it might be, and just keep it really simple. Just bump and run. Keep it simple. Just to get you exactly where you want to be. I mean, that would have gone close to the cup. But that's how you do it. And the other little tweak you can do, if you're finding that you're duffing a few shots, you're not quite getting the contact that you want, I would like you to try raising the shaft up, okay? Just raising the shaft up is actually going to cause less resistance on the bottom of the club here, less sort of drag. So by doing that, it's not going to dig in. The chances are going to be reduced at the very least. So it's not going to dig in as much. So just by raising the shaft, standing a little bit closer, there's less drag, less resistance, and you just make the same kind of action, bump and run, and you get better at that shot. It's so easy. Don't try and do too much. That's how you can begin to get creative if and when you need to. But you want to start getting up and down more often? Keep it simple. Trust me, it makes all the difference. Don't try and open up club faces and hit lob shots or whatever it might be. Don't bother. It might be fun to do that now and again. We want golf to be fun, of course we do. But what's more fun? Getting your handicap lower, winning some money from your friends and all that stuff, right? So let's see if we can make the bunker a little bit easier too. Okay, so now we are in the bunker, just trying to make the short game in the bunker a little bit easier. Very quick sort of wrapping this up. And when you practice for a start, okay, give yourself variable lies. Don't hit the same shot to the same hole every time. Why? because chances are you haven't got 3 hours to practice your bunker shots, just to work on your technique. How often do you get hit in a bunker on the course? Maybe one, maybe two, maybe none in a round, maybe only once a week. So you've got to make the shot that you're practicing as replica, what's the word? I don't know, you know what I mean? As lifelike as possible, that'll do. Anyway, we've got a couple of different shots here, and the way I want you to focus on the technique here first is I want you to feel like you've got more weight on your left side. Actually, I'll show you to this hole, okay? So I want you to have more weight on the left side, and very, very simple tweak, just raise your right heel up, okay? Just raise that right heel up, and what that is going to do is make sure that you're striking down that way. But you've got to make sure that you accelerate. You don't want to be digging down too much. And that's where the next aspect comes in, that I want you to forget about the golf ball, okay? Just forget about the golf ball for a minute. The bunker hasn't been raked at all, so this is quite hard. However, I want you to forget about the golf ball. It's about the sand getting to the designated distance. These grains of sand are the only thing I want you to care about. It's the only thing that matters in life right now, is making these lump of grains of sand travel to that cup. That's it. Perfect. Got it in the hole. And the same now should apply, the same sort of feel, the same technique. I've got my weight on my left side, and all I'm thinking about is the grains of sand going to the ball. Accelerating through, because what it's going to do is, if we want a longer shot, we're going to hit those grains of sand that little bit further. And this is a great way to practice, because now we want to feel exactly the same commitment and acceleration, getting those grains of sand up there. Okay, same shot. The ball is irrelevant, and that's what I want you to feel. The other sort of light little tweak I want you to give, so not only raise that right heel if you need to, make sure that you're hitting those grains of sand. As far as setup, everyone thinks they need to stand way, way open and cut across it. You don't. It's actually more effective to feel like you're a little bit closed, because what that is going to do is make sure that you get the rotation behind and commit down that way. Hear that sound? That sound is what's key. And that's where I'd love you to be able to practice feeling that sound, that spanking sound. I dug a bit deep there. But if you can get that sensation, feeling like your right foot, I mean, even if you want to bring the right foot behind a little bit, okay? You can open up the face so that we're still aligned a little bit left of the target generally, and we're accelerating through now. Weight on the left side. I'm hitting those grains of sand, and just hear that sound. That's how you get confidence. That's how you get control. And that is so simple. Hit the grain of sand. Try closing the face, your feet a little bit, so you ensure that you're getting behind instead of just chopping across it. And just kind of make sure that you've got enough weight over the left side of the ball so you can be confident in that acceleration, okay? Dead simple. That's it. Hope you enjoyed those short game tips, chipping and bunker, and hopefully it makes it a bit more simple. If it doesn't, let me know. If it does, let me know in the comments below. Thanks. All right, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed those tips, insights and strategies to help you play better golf, but make it a bit easier for you. If you have any questions, do leave them below. And you know what? Like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow. It does all that kind of stuff. Now, if you've stuck with me this long, you do want to follow the link that I've got below, because it's going to give you a really great series of lessons to help your golf game more than hours and hours of instruction could possibly do. And it's free. All you have to do is follow that link. And again, if you've got any questions, whatever it might be, any feedback, leave it below, and come and join us over on the website, at the Facebook group, wherever it might be. See you next time.